Tonight on CFTK-TV, a Little Oliver Creek wildfire has emerged. The federal government is making some adjustments to its dental care program, and Team Canada prepares to face Lionel Messi and Argentina tonight for their semifinal matchup.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK-TV News.
Good evening, I'm Damian Smith. Thank you for joining us. Our first story today is the Little Oliver Creek wildfire, which reportedly started last night just 45 kilometers northeast of Terrace.
The fire burning near Little Oliver Creek was first spotted yesterday afternoon and was first reported to be about 15 hectares in size. This footage was taken close to when it was first reported. Now, this footage from today shows the growth of the fire. Today, the fire is reportedly 70 hectares in size and is currently deemed out of control, according to the BC Wildfire Service. 2 initial attack crews and a 5-pack crew are responding to this fire. It is listed to be suspected to be a human-caused fire. Locals are reminded to be aware and stay updated by checking the bcwildfire.ca website or app and checking with your regional municipality and First Nations to get the latest updates. There is currently no campfire ban in place, but larger Category 2 and 3 fires are banned. The current hot, dry, and windy conditions make it easier for fires to start. We will continue to update on the situation. For CFTK-TV, I'm Jaylene Matthews.
Now on to a mixed-use development that is under construction, which will include 43 affordable rental homes and a foundry center that is supposed to accommodate seniors and young people in Terrace. The building will be owned and managed by the Terrace and District Community Services Society, which is one of the largest community service providers in northern BC. The 5-story project will have 4 stories of affordable rental housing for seniors with 43 one-bedroom units, of which 8 will be accessible and 35 will be adaptable. Rent will be determined near the completion of the building and will be based on its unit size and the household income. It is expected to be completed in 2026. After a quarterfinal win on Friday, Team Canada will face off against Argentina tonight in the Final Four at the Copa America. Even if tonight ends in a loss, there's a great feeling in the air when it comes to Canadian soccer, which is hope.
The only North American team left at Copa America, Team Canada hit the pitch for training, getting ready for their biggest match of the tournament.
You can see that this team is building. And I think now on the back of 2 really strong performances, we have an incredible task at in a semifinal to play against the best team in the world.
Coach Jesse March said his players were excited but not satisfied when asked about the incredible run his team has had so far at a tournament Canada has never played in and now finds itself in the Final Four.
I wouldn't count these guys out.
So I believe this is a 96 away Canada kit.
And Canadian fans are all in, snatching up red and white jerseys as Canada faces off against the best player to ever wear the blue and white.
Argentina is always going to have a bunch of people coming in grabbing Messi kits, but it's nice to see Canada just fly off the shelf.
And while much of Canada will be watching Tuesday night, so too will the world.
Whenever there's a Lionel Messi game in this sport, it's a global event. And when you layer on the fact that it's, the semifinals of Copa America, it's all that much more significant.
Canada lost to Argentina 2-0 in the opening match of the tournament back on June 20th. But since then has earned its place in the Final Four, sticking to their game with grit, tenacity, and a little luck.
To see them compete at this level, not get flustered by how physical it can be, by how demanding it can be, how poor the pitch conditions are. They really are playing with a fearlessness and a bravado that we really haven't seen from the Canadian men's program in so long, and they're doing it so well.
There is at least one more game in this magical run. The team and its growing legion of fans hoping it doesn't end. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Located in Surrey, the Guru Nanak Food Bank has had an unexpected yet flattering amount of donations in the last coming days. This food bank will have enough food that can potentially stay on the shelves for more than half a year. Sinjin Alexander from CTV has more.
Organizers are so astonished by how much food is suddenly on these shelves, they've been double, even triple checking the numbers. Rice, pasta, cereal, you name it, all donated, all in one single day.
Very happy, all big smiles on the face of the food bank supporters, yes.
All of it began flooding in Sunday, literally by the truckload. For its 4th anniversary, the Guru Nanak Food Bank was determined to break donation records, collect 313 tons of food in less than 24 hours.
And we strongly believe that we can hit that record.
They sure got to a good start. Remember, none of this is bought, we're told. All of it from community members, guided by some 200 volunteers.
Not a single penny from the government. It's by the people, for the people.
Now around 4 o'clock, the team was given the latest tally, and they were doing really well, but were still behind by 52 tons. Those volunteers began working the phones. Can you spare anything else? What they didn't know, a lot more was already on the way.
The sun is so high that time, the people is just resting out the home, and they come out at 6 o'clock within last 2 hours.
The food bank broke their record all right, collecting 384.5 tons.
And that is awesome.
Now comes the task of putting it all away, and there should be enough here to help people for about 8 months. Again, they've triple-checked those numbers. They know they've smashed that record, but it's possible they've collected even more. St. John Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
Coming up next, Canadian star swimmer Penny Oleksiak prepares for the upcoming Olympic Games. Welcome back. Winning over Canadian sports fans back in 2016 as a 16-year-old, swimmer Penny Oleksiak is geared up to compete in her 3rd Summer Olympics. Andrea Case from CTV has more.
Pick a color from bronze to gold. Penny Oleksiak has more Summer Olympic Games medals than any other Canadian in our nation's history. The Olympic medal rush began in Rio in 2016. The then 16-year-old racked up medals individually and as a relay team member in freestyle and butterfly. In Paris later this month, her focus will solely be as a relay team member.
Honestly, just excited to go and really enjoy it for the first time. I think every time I'm like totally overcome by nerves while I'm there. So this time to be able to go and just really enjoy it, have a good time, and see what we can do.
Speaking from Barcelona, where she and fellow team members are training, she appeared on Your Morning and minutes later wearing a hat on CP24 Breakfast. She spoke about being a 3-time Olympian.
Honestly, I feel like I'm still learning all the time. I think every Olympics is so different from each other. My first one, I had no idea what I was doing. My second one was in Tokyo and during COVID, and excited to go, and it's going to be so different from the other 2 I've been to.
With experience and age, competing on any level is more fun for her now. In addition to the Olympic medals, she's also a 6-time World Championship medalist.
I've only really started to kind of give myself grace and celebrate things I've accomplished in the past, but I'm excited to hopefully add to that this summer. I mean, we have a really, really awesome team.
Like many of her team members, she now trains in California. 6 months after knee surgery, she's feeling good. And should all go well in Paris, she knows where her next stop will be.
I want to make a trip home. I miss Toronto.
Oleksiak said she couldn't have made it to the Olympics without help from people like the Ontario Lottery Corporation and tickets like Quest for Gold. All the proceeds from tickets like this go to help making Olympic dreams come true. That'll be $2. Thank you. Andrea Case, CTV News.
In terms of manufacturing, car dealerships are dealing with an assortment of inventory patterns. Some brands have too many in stock, and some have customers waiting months to purchase. Here's Christina Tenaglia in Toronto.
It depends on the make and model, and this is all because the auto industry is bouncing back from inventory and supply chain issues that plagued the industry during the pandemic. Back then, some consumers had to wait months and months to purchase a new car. Now, experts say there's an abundance of cars for North American brands like Ford, GM, and Stellantis, and European luxury cars like Mercedes, BMW, and Audi. That means incentives. Dealers can offer lower interest since the interest rates they set are tied to vehicle availability, meaning better deals for consumers. Some discounts are dipping as deep as 15% on the retail price, and there's room for negotiation too, a tactic that also somewhat halted during the pandemic.
Car manufacturers have increased their prices over the last few years Interest rates are at an all-time high, so financing and leasing is more expensive, and dealerships are not negotiating and charging higher prices. And now we're seeing a slowdown in sales, inventory is building up, and now dealerships are starting to be more motivated to sell these vehicles that have been sitting on dealer lots. So there's more rebates, more incentives, and more negotiating power for consumers.
And experts suggest that sought-after cars like small compact cars and hybrids from Toyota, Honda, and Hyundai are still tough to get, so there will be likely no deals there. And as a consumer, if you wait about 6 to 12 months, experts say prices could be even lower.
Now on to tonight's weather. The North Coast will see increasing cloudiness as the night rolls along. There will be a 40% chance of rain before the morning. In the Terrace-Kitimat area, the heat warning should be coming to an end tonight after 31 degrees today. Clouds will trickle in tonight and the wind will pick up at 30 kilometers an hour with gusts up to 50 kilometers, and there will be a low of 16 degrees. The Bulkley Valley and Lakes District will see some simple weather tonight with clear conditions and a low of 6 degrees as they also get out of the heat wave. Now onto this week's weather forecast. The coast will see periods of rain tomorrow, followed by 3 days of sun and cloud until the rain will come back on Sunday and Monday. A high of 17 degrees will be on the sunny days and the low of 11 degrees will be on Thursday night. The Terrace-Kitimat area will cool down tomorrow with a 70% chance of showers and a risk of thunderstorms. Thursday will see some showers as well, followed by 2 days of sunny conditions and then back to a 60% chance of rain on Sunday and Monday. The Bulkley Valley and Lakes District will see a 30% chance of showers tomorrow, followed by 2 days of straight sun, followed by 3 days of sun and cloud, and a low of 10 degrees, which will be on Thursday night. Now let's take a look at our Northwest roadside report. On Highway 16, there's bridge maintenance in Houston between Gushua and Morgan Road, undergoing paving and road maintenance. There's also bridge maintenance between Gushua and Maurice River Road with paving and maintenance as well. Highway 37 has frost heaves between Dease River Bridge and the end of Highway 37, along with bridge maintenance between Bell 1 Bridge and Deltaic Bridge. And this is what the roads were looking like this afternoon around the region from the view of the province's highway cams. Still to come, the federal government continues to seek out for sign-ups for its new dental care program. The federal government is making changes to its dental care program after finding that more than 2.1 million people have applied since it launched a few months ago. Ottawa says it hopes their announcement will get some more dentists on board, but there's still some hesitation to sign up. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver has the details.
How often are you flossing?
When the federal government launched its publicly funded dental care program, Dr. Melvin Lee signed up without hesitation.
And that's before you go to bed.
In the months since, nearly 100 patients have come through his door.
It's been heartbreaking because some of the patients, you can tell that they haven't seen a dentist in 5, 10 plus years. And so multiple missing teeth, cavities, and infections.
But not all dentists share his eagerness. Out of an estimated 25,500 licensed dentists, just 11,800, or less than half, have joined the program.
Hand open, please.
With many oral health professionals citing concerns with payments and billing, confusion around eligibility, and fear the process would be too complicated.
One of the things that I hear is, they've been burned by other programs. They didn't have positive experiences.
To help change that narrative and give patients more choice, Ottawa is now allowing all dentists, including those who haven't signed up for the program, to take part on a claim-by-claim basis and seek reimbursement for each service.
You can just try it out, submit a claim, and see what you think.
But the Canadian Dental Association says it's not that easy. Dentists still have to navigate a complicated system they say pays less and covers fewer services than private insurance.
The public is under the impression that this is a free program and that it covers whatever they need. And so people are coming into offices, some of them disappointed, some of them angry.
The program operates on a sliding scale, meaning families who make less money will get more paid for. But Ottawa warns that there could be out-of-pocket costs, as the amount that the government covers could be less than what your dentist charges.
The Canada Revenue Agency continues to ramp up its efforts to recoup billions of dollars in COVID benefits, where it says it was wrongly given out during the pandemic. However, there are still Canadians out there that are exclaiming that the government is targeting the wrong people. Camille Karamali has the rest of the story.
This is musician Patrick Massey in his element. It's a passion of love, not money, only getting paid for the odd gig. So when COVID struck, his career hit pause, and so did his income. He then applied for federal COVID benefits.
I realized I qualified for it, so I jumped on it.
But now the Canada Revenue Agency says he needs to pay back more than $27,000. It says Massey wasn't eligible for the benefits.
It just stresses me out, you know. It's beyond belief.
Massey says the CRA asked him to prove he had a steady income back in 2019, an income that was lost when the pandemic hit. The problem is with multiple freelance jobs, he says the CRA is disputing what he earned as a self-employed individual, even though his local MP vouched for him, saying he has provided abundant evidence.
This has happened, by the way, to other constituents of mine who have work that is less regular, if you will.
The CRA now asking Massey to pay it all back.
So are you afraid of any legal repercussions?
No, because where are they going to get the money from? I don't have any. You can't take blood from a stone, right?
The CRA began sending out legal warnings this month to Canadians who were not eligible for the COVID benefits but took the money anyways and haven't paid it back. The agency is now trying to retrieve $9.5 billion, including more than $5 billion from CERB and billions more from other benefits. Now, many Canadians are fighting back against the CRA's demands for repayment, which may be a losing cause.
It can garnish wages. It can take away refunds that were otherwise entitled to you. It can take away your GST credit or any kind of other credit you're getting. It could seize assets of yours.
Tax lawyers say people can still go to a federal court to fight the CRA's decision. Meanwhile, the Canada Revenue Agency says it remains committed to being flexible with these repayments.
Now we turn our attention to the stock market. The Canadian dollar has no current change. The price of gold is up $8.60. Oil is down 69 cents. Natural gas is down 3 cents. Aluminum is down $4. In Toronto, the TSX is down 59.71, and the Venture Index is down 1.44. In New York, the Dow Jones is down 74.18, and NASDAQ is up 28.06. Still ahead, an update on Frank Stronach as he is set to make an appearance at court in October. Billionaire businessman Frank Stronach, who is accused of sexually assaulting 10 complainants, is due to make a return to court in early October. These alleged incidents date back as far as 1977 and as recently as this year. CTV's John Woodward has more on the story.
I was a teenager, a high school student that was selected by Magna International.
In 1985, Jane Boone was 19. She was picked for a major scholarship that kick-started her engineering career. The benefactor, then CEO of Magna International, Frank Stronach, who was in his 50s.
I was game and so flattered by the attention. And then things got weird.
She told CTV News she was invited to Magna's annual shareholder meeting at Roy Thompson Hall and then to dinner at Stronach's Toronto restaurant.
Stronach announces to the driver that I have had too much to drink, that I'm in no condition to go back to Guelph, and that he will drive me to the guest house.
She said she surrendered her keys, and on the way to the guest house in Gormley, she felt pressure to give Stronach what she believed he wanted.
There was like this delay where it all sort of clicked together in my head. I was like, oh boy, I just messed up. I just did something really stupid. I think I'm going to have to sleep with him now.
Boone described what happened that night as unwelcome but not illegal. But other alleged sexual interactions involving Stronach, now 91, have resulted in criminal charges, including sexual assault. Stronach did not show up in person at his first court appearance in Brampton. His lawyer appeared virtually instead. The charges describe incidents from the late 1970s to February of this year. There are 10 alleged victims across 13 counts, 7 in Toronto, 1 each in Scarborough, Central York, and Gormley, and 2 in Aurora, the city where Magna is headquartered. The company has said it has no knowledge of any of these allegations, and Stronach himself said in a statement, "In many free and democratic societies, the identities of both the accuser and the accused are protected while the police initiate a charge against a citizen. This is not the case in Canada." Frank Stronach, like all Canadians, values the time-honored legal principle that a person is innocent until proven guilty. However, unlike most Canadians, he faces the reputational damage which constant media attention attracts. The statement didn't directly address Boone's story. Boone said as soon as she heard of the charges, she phoned the Peel police and was interviewed. She said she has a lot of questions about what other Magna employees knew.
54-year-old CEOs should not be sleazing on 19-year-old students in their employ.
An experience she said derailed her career in engineering. She's now a writer.
John Woodward, CTV News.
The honeymoon vacation is making some changes for some couples out there. The new term early moon has caught up with some folks, exclaiming that it may be a far better option to go on a trip before the wedding. Ariel Reshef from ABC has why.
The honeymoon, a time to leave your wedding stress in the rear view. But now, a jet-setting trend has couples trading the prenuptial pressure cooker for some premarital R&R. Enter the early moon, a short trip to unwind before you head down the aisle. Couples across social media are touting the benefits.
We took it as an opportunity to kind of recharge. We knew we weren't going to be able to do the honeymoon right away, so we wanted to make sure that we took the time beforehand.
Katie and Marco Escalera say taking a break from the chaos was essential.
The early moon was more budget friendly, and it's affording us the time to postpone our honeymoon so we can have like a bigger, longer trip.
Wedding experts tell us they're seeing a growing interest in these pre-wedding getaways, some making an early moon an additional investment, while others are swapping out the traditional honeymoon altogether.
The purpose is to unwind, relax, be really checked in with each other ahead of the wedding.
And even if you don't early moon, you may still be able to secure those classic post-wedding perks by mentioning you're about to tie the knot.
People are going to be excited to help you if they can. Add it into that special notes line in your reservation or mention it to your server at dinner. And I think that people will always be inclined to do a little something if they are able to.
As for Katie and Marco, they encourage others to say I do to an early moon.
Absolutely do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Go for it. It's a great way to reconnect. You keep that spark alive between you and your significant other.
That's all our news for now. I'm Damian Smith and you're watching CFTK-TV. Thanks for tuning in.